welcome to the Natural View. I'm Maggie Jacqua. I'm the content director of Whole Foods Magazine, and I'm here with Michael Modjeski. He's the Chief Commercial Officer at Wakunaga of America. Welcome.
Hi, Maggie. It's great to be here. And hi to everybody out there in the universe.
Hello to the universe. We're happy to have you here. This is part of our series in the July 2022 issue, print and digital of Whole Foods Magazine. We have just a special section where we're shining a spotlight on leaders throughout the natural products industry. And you can read that coverage to learn more about the company. But today we're going to talk to Michael, and we're going to learn a little bit more about your personal leadership style and about the corporate culture at Wakunaga that helps drive success, because this is a family-owned company that is celebrating its 50th. So this is a big, wonderful deal. Congratulations to you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it is a big deal for our company. It's hard to fathom when you think about our founder, Manji Wakunaga, whether or not he envisioned the organization still being around 50 years later. But here we are and moving on to our next 50. So it's great to be here.
That's fabulous. And family owned, third generation.
Third generation family owned. Yes. His grandsons are currently at the helm of the business back in Japan, and are involved in our business pretty regularly. So it's good to have that family connection.
I agree. See, I'm at Whole Foods Magazine, as a lot of people out there know, is also a family-owned business, and I worked there fresh out of college, and now I'm back because, you know, I just love working for that family culture, and really, you know, everybody is very close and you can be so open. So tell me about Wakunaga and that family leadership style and how that helps drive your success.
One of the things I think, if I go back to kind of the founding tenets of the organization, it's really based upon trying to do noble things for the people of the world. It really has a wonderful ethos behind it in that regard. Being honest about our dealings with ourselves, with our consumers, putting some of the most researched products in the dietary supplement space out into the marketplace, scientifically backed, high quality products. And there's always an openness in terms of the communication that we have within our family, as we call it. And our family consists of, our employees, our business associates, our distributors throughout the world, our raw material suppliers. We can't possibly be the organization that we are without the sum total of everybody. And I always believe that one is not as smart as all. So it's, one of those things where you may have an idea, but you've got to keep mining dialogues and ideas from everybody to become the best that you can be.
Absolutely. So we've had some interesting years here, obviously some challenges. Can you talk about a challenge, just even in your career? It doesn't have to be at the company, but just learning that you've had from kind of tough times, how that's helped you come back stronger?
Oh, that's a great question. One of the things I think, for me, I've always been a person who's been out on the road doing things remotely, and while trying to be a supporter and a mentor to our organization, that's been a challenge because we're dealing with miles and time zones of difference between each other. And as we kind of, over the past 2 years in particular, had to shift, I was traveling 2 to 3 weeks a month, pretty much on a monthly basis, and trying to do our things around the rest of the world. And all of a sudden, bam, we're sequestered into this. I'm staying home and I'm working remotely, and I'm not going out and seeing people face to face. One of the things that I think has been a learning, though, in all of that has been, you can still keep moving things forward. We just have to use different technology, different ways of being able to stay connected. But it was hard at first, I think, to just kind of get your head around, how are we going to make this happen? And I can speak, with regard to some of the changes we had to make with our own internal staff. We have people that had been so used to doing things in a very paper-laden process, in a very methodical way, who were working in the office all the time. And then training them and trying to get them to assimilate to, hey, we've got a great opportunity here. We can keep this thing moving ahead, but we got to change how we do it. And so that was an interesting challenge, but I'm also very proud of the way the team responded to everything, because here we are, 2 years later plus, and we're still thriving here. So it's great.
It's interesting how we all learned, well, how resilient we can be, but also just different ways of working, and, having to scramble at first and then saying, you know what, that's actually a better way that we never would have discovered, or who knows at what point we would have discovered it sometime down the road. But things that we adapted that we stick with now because they're just better.
Yeah, you can be more efficient. There are things, though, there's nothing like sitting down with people and being able to break bread and have a meal and talk about things. Obviously, you could do that remotely like we're talking right now, but it's not quite the same experience. You're not having the same food. You're not in the same ambiance and environment. But yes, we can do things differently.
Yeah, it's been nice being able to get back to some of the trade shows and see people again and have some celebrations together. And it definitely makes the positive difference.
Yeah, I have to say, going to Expo West this year was a bit of a cathartic experience for me. Just being able to see people that I haven't hugged and been able to say I love you to, it was just great to be able to do that.
It was really nice to be back. So you mentioned mentorship, and that's kind of one of our focuses in this whole leadership. Just discuss the importance of mentorship and how you've seen your efforts with others pay off.
Mentoring people is a privilege, and it's also a challenge, to be a good mentor, I think. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a great mentor. However, I think that, in building the relationships with the people that you work with, both on your staff and also within the rest of the organization, and dialoguing about things. And we've all got to have a chance to succeed as well as to fail. And I think from failures come some really strong learnings. So it's not so much being you're pinned down and this is what you got to do and this is the way you got to do it. You give people the opportunity to figure their way through things. And I think that's a very important thing to allow people to develop. I believe people want to do a good job every day. Nobody's looking really for a free ride, if you would. There's that whole idea of self-actualization and fulfillment that I think people aspire to. And it's great when you see people really blossom and bloom in that kind of an environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also so rewarding when somebody that you're mentoring does that learning on their own process, and you discover, you learn from them and find
exactly.
Yep. I always love that.
Yep, it's fabulous.
Yeah. So let's talk wider industry. What message would you have for the industry, or would you like to share with the industry as a whole, maybe about what we can collectively do better to ensure our success, or any call to action, anything you want to throw out there?
One of the things, and this is kind of really, again, in the roots of what Wakunaga really believes in, is being kind of consultative educators, if you would. Everybody in the natural products industry, and we're so proud to be so strongly affiliated with the natural products industry, has a great passion for what they do. You run into individuals and, they're, scientific, medical, practical knowledge about things is just amazing. And their hearts on how they want to communicate and help people improve their lives. And I believe that education is a very important thing for everybody. We can continue to learn daily. And just watching the natural products industry, how do you continue to propel yourself? You become that expert to the people that you're engaged with. And I believe that that's really a strong attribute that would contribute to making the world a better place, and particularly as it relates to what we do to helping people achieve a better lifestyle and health.
Absolutely. Wise words. So, okay, looking ahead, as you said, getting ready to celebrate 50 years to come. What is on the horizon for Wakunaga? Any company news you want to share?
Well, we have quite a few things that are going on right now. We've been working kind of behind the scenes for the better part of about 18 months or so to refresh and rebrand the Kyolic product line. We went through extensive consumer research to find out what consumers are looking for in today's dietary supplement space, and really try to put our best foot forward to address those consumer concerns. They're looking for clear labels. They're looking for, attestations that the products are made in, a quality environment. They're tested, they're reliable, they're scientifically studied. And it was really a discovery process for us to get from where we were, which the last time that Kyolic was touched was probably about 14 years ago, to where we are today. And we went about that really with the hope that we can reach a wider audience. We believe that our products can really benefit a younger consumer than our typical demographic. And so that was a big thing for us. We also made kind of a monumental step in innovation for us from the standpoint of producing a new product, and that's our Kyolic Formula 300, which is a cardiovascular formula, and it's a vegan formula. And the thing that is particular of note for that is it uses no magnesium stearate, and that is the first Kyolic product that we have made without magnesium stearate. So again, listening to what consumers are telling us that they want. So we had been looking at that and exploring it, and for years it was like, no, we can't do it. Well, guess what? We broke through that. And so that was a big thing for us. And that is something that we will be applying as we go forward. So we're very optimistic about the future as we look at new formula innovations, and continuing to do our scientific research. We have a number of clinical studies that are underway at the moment. We typically don't like to talk about those until they've been published, but we do have a handful going on right now that hopefully within the next year and a half, we'll be able to talk more about.
Excellent. Well, when you have that ready, we're here to share the news in Whole Foods Magazine. So
awesome.
We'll spread the word. And thank you for joining us. Lots of great insights and things to think about and how we can all help grow collectively. So I love those messages. Thank you.
Well, thank you and have a great day.